Hey, this morning I woke up and I asked myself, if I could go back in time and give my 20-year-old self advice on how to become a master storyteller, what advice would I give? Well, here are the 12 storytelling secrets I wish I had known much earlier. Lesson number 1. This is why your story doesn't inspire people. Back in May 2025, I had a coaching call with the famous entrepreneur and YouTuber Dan Martell. And early on into the call, I said, Dan, I watched your keynote. It's amazing, right? Beautiful, you're a wonderful speaker. But when you mentioned your teenage years, the part about the drugs and crime, well, you just skipped right past it. Why? He said, you know what? Because it always gets emotional. So I asked, well, Dan, what's your number one goal with your business? And he said, well, to inspire millions to live a better life. And I said, then why are you being selfish? He looked a little bit confused at me. And I told him, when you skip over the dark parts of your life, you make it harder for people to see themselves in your story. Sure, your success impresses them, but your struggle is what changes them. Once I told him, he's like, oh yeah, I don't like it, but you're right. Which brings me to the first lesson. Share your rock bottom. Don't be afraid to revisit the pain, the failure, the dark night of the soul, because that story that scares you, that is usually the one story that people need to hear the most. Lesson number 2. Now, if you start your stories like this, you're fucked. Now, this summer, I ran a storytelling workshop for this big tech company in Amsterdam. And early on, in one of the exercises, one of the guys stands up to share his story. 10 seconds in, he's talking about his job title. 30 seconds in, where he grew up. Then 60 seconds in, past responsibilities. At 93 seconds, he finally got into the story. I looked around. Pretty much everyone in the room had mentally left the building. And the crazy thing is, once he went into his story, it wasn't even that bad. After he finished his story, I pulled him aside and I said, I actually loved your story. It was so honest, so vulnerable, so inspiring. Such a shame that you lost everyone before you even started. I said that with a grin, not to tear him down, but to help him grow. After that, he laughed and asked the right question. Okay, so how should I start? Now here's what I told him. Start as close to the challenge as possible. Drop us right into the moment before things go wrong. The meeting, the phone call, the silence in the room. Don't waste time warming up your audience. Wake them up instead. Because the faster you reach the tension, the faster your story grabs people. Lesson number 3. Now imagine you're watching a war movie. Now it opens with a big helicopter shot all the way from the top. You see the battlefield from above, you see the tanks rolling forwards, you see smoke in the distance. It looks cool for about 3 seconds, but then you're like, okay, this is nice, but bring me in. I want to feel the action. And that's when the camera zooms in. Now you're into the trenches, bombs exploding everywhere, mud flying. You see the fear in the soldiers' eyes. In case you're wondering, how on earth does that relate to storytelling? Well, when most people tell their story, they stay in that helicopter view. They say things like, well, I faced a big challenge, or I wanted to improve the customer experience. That's so high level, so vague, so forgettable. Great storytellers don't do that. They zoom into the moment. They take us into one specific scene. They share the exact words of that frustrated client. They share the look on your face at 2 in the morning, and they share the doubts that are running through your head. The good news is, you don't need to be a poet to do that. All you have to do is relive the moment. And then just describe what was happening, like you're back in it. So think of that moment and then picture it clearly in your mind and just ask yourself, where am I? What am I doing? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I hearing? And whatever comes up, those are the details that you want to include in your story. So don't just hover across the ground, but drop us into the moment. Lesson number 4. If I had to choose just one storytelling technique to use for the rest of my life, it would be this one. Now let me show you. Imagine I said, well, in that moment, my boss informed me that he wasn't impressed by my presentation and that I should prepare more. That is so boring, right? Now listen to that same story, but this time with dialogue. My boss looked at me and said, Philipp, what the hell was that? You were all over the place. Did you even look at the slides before? Boom. Now you feel it. You can see it. So the next lesson, share the outer dialogue. Say the exact words that person said in that crucial moment of the story. Quote that person. The moment that you quote that person, the story comes to life and a movie starts playing in your listener's mind. Lesson number 5. Here is what separates an average story from a great story. An average story sounds like this. I was worried my manager didn't like me. You just explain what happened. That's okay, but it's not great. The best storytellers, they don't just tell us what happened. They let us hear what you were thinking in that moment. So instead of saying, oh, I was worried my manager didn't like me, say, I thought, fuck, how am I gonna turn this around? My manager hates me. See the difference? Now we're in the story. We can feel the fear, the pressure, the stakes. So share the inner dialogue. Share what was running through your mind. Share the hopes, the dreams, the plans, the fears. Because the moment you do, your story stops sounding that flat and it starts feeling real. Lesson number 6. Here is how you can tell the difference between a beginner, amateur, and pro. Well, a beginner just shares this random story without a goal or direction. It sounds like, I once spent a couple of months preparing for a marathon. Now, an amateur storyteller does it a bit better. They at least share the goal. They say things like, my goal was to finish the marathon under 4 hours. Now that is already better. Now we know what they're aiming for. But the pro storytellers, they go one step further. They say, I wanted to run a marathon so that I could prove to myself that I can do anything in life. And what do? They share the why behind the what. Because the what gives us information, but the why gives us emotion. So the next time you tell a story, don't just share what you wanted. Tell us why it mattered so much to you. Lesson number 7. You've probably listened to thousands of stories from coworkers, speakers, and friends. And you've probably forgotten 99% of the stories. Now why is that? Because most stories are missing one key ingredient. They say something like this. They're like, well, I was this kind of person, I did this crazy stuff, and I was pretty much the same person after. Do you see this? There's no shift, no growth, no change. But the best stories, they do it differently. They all have this one moment of change. It's this instance where something clicks. Before it, you're this one person. After it, you're someone completely different. Maybe you were terrified of speaking in public. After that, you love being on stage. Maybe before that, you hated your brother. After that, you're having this first call with him and you start to get along with him. Show the moment of change. It's where the story goes from an interesting story to, fuck, this is beautiful. Lesson 8. Now, if you want to tell more stories, but you just don't have enough stories to tell, this is for you. Earlier this year, a friend from Brazil called me and he said, Oi, Philipp, do you want to come to my millionaire mastermind to give a workshop? And I said, yeah, sure. But then he added, well, one thing, it's in Portuguese. And I mean, my brain is like, oh, Portuguese? Really? I mean, I lived in Brazil like 10 years ago, but I haven't spoken since that. But I said yes anyway. Why? Because I knew that me being scared of it and going for it anyway, well, that will make a great story. So, say yes to fear. The moments that scare us, those are the moments that often turn into the greatest stories. That awkward conversation, that project you didn't feel ready, or that thing that you have been pushing out because you're too scared. Those are wonderful stories. Because every time you say yes to fear, you're not just living life, you're also creating your next great story. Lesson number 9. The number one blocker that stops people from telling more stories is that they think that they don't have enough cool stories. And I thought the same. I used to believe that every great story had to be this big TED Talk type of big story. Like the time when I almost died climbing in Brazil, or when I met God during an ayahuasca trip. But here's what I learned. Most people can't relate to those extreme experiences, but they can relate to those small day-to-day struggles. The best storytellers don't chase the extraordinary. They find magic in the mundane. They take those tiny everyday moments and tell them with honesty, emotion, and detail. So if you think you don't have any stories, you do. You just have noticed them. So start with one simple habit called Homework for Life by Matthew Dix. So every day ask yourself, if I had to tell a story from today, what would it be? Then write down the date and that small moment that touched your heart. Once you've done that for a few days, a week, you'll realize that your life is actually full of stories. You just haven't noticed them yet. Lesson number 10. If you want to become a great storyteller fast, this is the best way I know. Now, here's what it is. Every single day, people ask you one question. How are you? Now, how do most people respond? They're like, good, yeah, busy, nothing special. No, just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a missed opportunity, because great storytellers, they don't wait for the perfect stage or that big speech to tell a story. They use every moment to practice. Make your life the arena. So next time someone asks you, how are you? Well, tell that tiny story. And it doesn't have to be this epic story. It just needs to be real. Here's how I replied today when this guy asked me, how are you? I said, I'm good. I just wrapped up my longest video ever, 90 minutes. I'm exhausted, my voice is gone, and honestly, I'm a mix of terrified and excited to finally put it out there. What about you? When was the last time you finished something that was a little bit bigger? Now see, it doesn't have to be a fancy story. Instead, share short, simple human stories. Lesson number 11. Boring stories feel like summaries. Great stories feel like movies. When people tell stories, they often say things like, yeah, I was stressed, or it was awkward, it was the best day of my life. Now that's fine, but it's vague, because we can't see it. If you want people to feel your story, show, don't tell. Show how that emotion looked on your body, on your face, in the room. So instead of saying, oh, it was awkward, say, no one, but really no one said a word. We just stared at each other over cold coffee. Now that's how you turn your story into a scene. Lesson number 12. Best storytellers aren't necessarily the ones with the best stories, but they are the ones who have the most stories. If you only have like 3 stories, well, you won't have that many options where you can tell them. But if you have 30, 50, 100 stories, you will always have the right story for the right time. So how can you do that? Start a story bank. A story bank is the central place where you store, save, and classify your stories. So you can track the title, the lesson, a quick bullet point summary, and maybe a theme if you want to. I'll actually include my Notion template in the description below, so you don't have to start from scratch. By saving your stories in that story bank, you'll never run out of stories again in your life. That's it. Those were 12 lessons I wish I had known much earlier. But in case you want to go even deeper, check out this next video where I share some of my favorite advanced storytelling techniques. See you there.